Welcome back to the Diamond K Show here on RadioOnFire.com. Of course, I am your host, Diamond K, and I'm coming at you from the Radio on Fire studios here in Baltimore, Maryland. So much that I want to get into. Very interesting last few days. A couple of topics that I wanted to touch that I did not get a chance to talk about last week. Colt, who is who is a major weapons manufacturer, primarily known for its production of the AR-15 rifle, at least now. Back in the, you used to have that Colt action, gun back in the day. But the AR-15 rifle is one of their top sellers, and they announced that they will halt production of the weapon for the consumer public, right? For you civilians. They announced that last week in a statement by the CEO. Of course, the backlash being that the AR-15 is one of the go-to weapons for mass shooters. And of course, that is because of the ability and the quickness with which people can fire the weapon. And quick succession. Nikki in the building. How you doing, Nikki?
Hi.
Is your mic on? Okay.
Kind of high.
Yeah, it's all right.
Hear
but
me.
it's okay. They can hear you just fine. This is actually better than normal because a lot of times you're low. Bring your volume up a little bit more because you're normally low. So you know. And that's probably because I'm a commanding figure and I understand that I command. It's just like a roar, and then sometimes it's just like, oh my God, please. Is that what it is? No?
No comment. I'm going to let you just run with that. Yep. That's what it is.
Colt is a major manufacturer of weapons. Mm-hmm. And, of course, you're familiar with the AR-15. They don't want to sell this to civilians anymore. They said that the fact of the matter is, over the last few years, the market for modern sporting rifles has experienced significant excess manufacturing capacity. Given this level of manufacturing capacity, we believe there is an adequate supply for modern sporting rifles for the foreseeable future. I like how they put that. Yeah. They're trying to say it's not because of the shootings, it's because we made too many. And y'all, there's enough for y'all to buy the ones we already made. What are your thoughts on the AR-15? What do you think about it? Should people not have it in civilian life? Should it just be a military weapon?
I definitely think it should just be a military weapon because, what would the average American do with that? When you purchase that, you purchase it with intent to do some harm.
Yes.
That's not something you just be like, I'll just have it in case of an intruder. No, you have that. You purchase that because you want to do some serious damage. So, anybody that has it, I don't even want to be associated with anybody who even thinks or wants to purchase something like that. Mm-hmm. Why?
Why would they want it? A lot of gun enthusiasts want to have whatever gun. They think that their amendment, Second Amendment, covers any type of weapon that they want to have. I wonder that, Second Amendment people, do they feel like a bazooka is something that they could have because it's a gun?
They probably do.
Yeah, I believe in the right to bear arms. I do. But just like our freedom of speech, the go-to thing is you can't yell fire in a crowded room. Right. It's your speech, but you can't say certain things. I don't think that every weapon, I don't think you should have a nuclear weapon.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't need a rocket launcher or a missile launcher. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Automatic hand, now what they call the machine gun, right. That you can't have that anymore. And the AR-15 is something that they want to take away from people.
I agree.
But I don't think that gun enthusiasts should be upset about this because another gun with similar action is going to take its place. So it's not gonna be that heavy. You know what I mean? You can just move over AR-15. Now there's something meatier. You know what I mean? It'll be fine.
I think they're just doing this just to appease people because most of the time,
absolutely.
those, if you want one of those, you can purchase one still. It's somewhere.
They just saying they're not making any new ones. There's plenty. They could be like,
Yeah.
oh, we didn't just make that. Well, it says 2020 on it. Oh no, but that's just the wrong label. We didn't make that. We gotta take their word for it.
Well, this is their look to if someone says, "Well, you guys don't care about what's going on." No, we've done this.
Yeah.
This is what.
Yeah.
This is their go-to for that.
Yeah.
So.
I agree with that. Of course, you listen to Radio on Fire, the voice of urban America. News and current event programming reaching over 350,000 people per month and still growing. Of course, join the conversation, 404-436-1277, and contact us, yourradioonfire@gmail.com. So in addition to that, so many things across the desk. Also, Justin Trudeau, who is Canada's prime minister, one of President Obama's homies, one of the people that he got along with, and somebody that it seems that President Trump has had some tension with. Not that is connected in any way to what we're going to talk about, but several photos of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau wearing blackface surfaced online amid his 6-week re-election campaign. So you know where that came from. The other side. His opponents had an Olivia Pope, and he put these photos out. And I'm referencing Olivia Pope, and I've referenced her a lot today because we are watching the Scandal series. But this comes after some ethical questions arose over whether Trudeau pressured the former Canadian Attorney General to drop charges against a major construction firm to avoid a corruption trial. Now he's facing his own drama. So this first photo was released at the end of last week, which showed Justin Trudeau wearing blackface while portraying a character from the Disney movie Aladdin during an Arabian Nights themed event back in 2001. Now, he addressed the photos with reporters, telling them that he shouldn't have done it. I should have known better, but I didn't, and I'm really sorry. So he dressed in blackface, and when we say that, he had the whole get up on from Aladdin, and he put something on his face to darken his skin. We talked about this off air, Nikki.
Yes.
What do you think? Justin Trudeau, Canadian Prime Minister, he wanted to be Aladdin from the Disney movie during an event that was themed Arabian Nights, 2001.
Right. Well, like I said previously, I just think he just needs to admit that maybe at that time he thought differently than he thinks now.
Well, he said the statement. So his statement is, I shouldn't have done it. I should have known better, but I didn't, and I'm really sorry.
I still think that, I mean, I guess people can change. You know, he thought one way then, and now he thinks differently. But I don't think that that's excusable. I don't think it just should be okay.
What should happen?
I mean, nothing should. I mean, I guess at this point,
It's no answer. I mean, it's no,
Right. Like, what do you do with it?
Yeah.
You take it for what it is. You put it in the back of your mind. You store it, I guess, if something else comes up later. But at this point, I mean, what can you do about it?
Well,
it's noted. Duly noted.
Noted.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
You know, it's out there.
Yeah.
So that's where I am with it. But I mean, I don't know. I just think that I don't like things like that. I don't think those things should be just excused just by saying, I take that back. I do like the fact that he admitted that he just did it. You know what I mean? It's not like he's trying to explain it away. So I do give him credit for that.
Yeah.
I give him credit for that.
And I was thinking along those lines. Then another set of photos surfaced of him in blackface. One showed him portraying Harry Belafonte while singing Day-O at a high school talent show. Another photo showed Trudeau wearing blackface at another high school event. And after the outrage grew, he addressed the situation again, stating that darkening your face is always unacceptable because of the racist history of blackface. I should have understood that then, and I never should have done it. He added that he came from a place of privilege, but now I need to acknowledge that comes with a massive blind spot.
Well, what can you say? I mean, yeah, he's saying all the right things, right?
Well, he has the best crisis management team
exactly.
to give him what to say. I mean, those
right.
things. He say, look, you got to address the privilege,
right.
your white privilege. He hit all the key points.
And he did.
Sounding not too what's the word?
Empathetic. So he's sounding empathetic.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to sound empathetic, but I don't know whether he really. I mean, he's mad he got caught,
right?
As people frequently are. He also admitted that he did not know how many times he wore blackface.
Now that's a lot. See, you know what? He was doing okay. He was doing okay until he did that one. He didn't know. Well. How many other times has it been so many?
That's significant
count?
That you can't
now
even
that's
count.
A problem.
That might be the worst thing of all.
Right.
They said how many times, so if your man cheats and you say, baby, how many times did you cheat? You say, look,
I don't even
baby,
know.
I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't fucking know. Okay?
Right. That's a problem.
Whoa, that's major. Okay.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I'm sorry, but you got to go. Okay. So he said that I'm wary of being definitive about this because of the recent pictures that came out that I had not remembered.
Wow.
That is significant. Of course, we are told that when he called President Obama, he got this the number you have reached. So,
okay.
But who knows what he may be able to push through.
Nah.
He may be able to push through this. No, but another, and it's not a laughing matter. But I do want to look at this a little deeper. Okay, mm-hmm. So we had a very popular movie that came out, right? You remember this movie?
Okay.
I think it was the Wayne Brothers, right?
Oh, yes.
Right? And the movie was called White Chicks, right? 2004.
Right.
Comedy. Mm-hmm. And it's about two FBI agent brothers, Marcus and Kevin, who are Marlon and Sean Wayans, accidentally foil a drug bust. As punishment, they are forced to escort a pair of socialites to the Hamptons, where they're going to be used as bait for a kidnapper. But when the girls realize the FBI's plan, they refuse to go. Left without options, Marcus and Kevin decide to pose as the sisters, transforming themselves from African-American men to a pair of blonde white women. And in the box office, this movie made over $100 million. Okay. Mm-hmm. It was hilarious to me. Okay. It's very funny. And, but it's one of those movies that if they had made it with a shoestring budget, a low budget thing, mm-hmm. it would not have come off well because the makeup would have made them look like drag queens. But because they had a lot of money in this, they were able to spend the right money on, because it's not just makeup that they have on. They have other things applied to their face to make it look softer. And they really looked like white women to me.
No, they didn't.
They looked like some people trying to look like white women, but they looked like white women. No. They didn't look the same. They didn't look like themselves with paint on them. They looked different.
Right? I mean, yes, but they still it looked different for the year that it was. I guess you can say they did a really good job.
2004.
Right.
Yeah, you could probably do better now.
Right, absolutely. But I still looked at them and I wouldn't have bought the fact. I was like, what's wrong with them? They look peculiar.
You would say something peculiar. Right. Yes.
I wouldn't say that was normal.
Here's my point. We laughed about White Chicks, and I think that generally speaking, people looked at white chicks and didn't think that this was a slight on white people. We didn't think that we were making fun. I mean, they played some blonde chicks, and I guess they were making fun of the dizzy blonde type of thing. But I did not hear a backlash from the white community about this. And of course, this movie was greenlit by some white people, I'm sure, in Hollywood. But
it's easier for them to laugh at themselves, though.
Is it? Absolutely. Okay, so what are your thoughts on white chicks? Is it hypocritical for us to be upset? Because if there was a movie called Black Chicks and there were two white guys acting same scenario, but we flip it, the black community would be outraged. Right? We would be outraged. Absolutely. Even with the same script exactly.
Yep.
Right?
You're right.
Why is that okay for us to say, yes, white chicks is different? Because you said yourself, you just said, oh, they can laugh at themselves. Like, why is it okay
for them to laugh at themselves?
Why is it okay?
They haven't gone through anything. Why would you? I'm like, look, you all have laughed at us you all have laughed at our expense for decades. Leave us alone.
For decades.
Yes.
Okay, so at which point can we hit the reset button? Now here's, and like I said, we talked about this, so you know my thoughts on this. But I'm going to say it again. So if someone is being held back in society because of the color of their skin, you're not allowed to buy property in this community because of the color of your skin. You're not allowed to get this job because of the color of your skin. That is wrong.
Right.
That will not be tolerated. But when it comes to us making fun movies, I'm not talking about Justin Trudeau. I'm talking about movies, right? Mm-hmm. We have a movie where we have a white person portraying a black person, right?
Right.
Let's say it's not done in a little Sambo kind of move. Like it's something like White Chicks, where it's clear that it's comedy, but it's not at the expense of the race. It's just trying to have a funny scene. Is there a line? So you're saying because of slavery or because of discrimination, white people cannot make fun and use black people in the punchline, but black people can do the same thing?
Yes.
No, we can't do that because we either have to say it's not acceptable for anybody or it's acceptable. For instance, we talked about, we heard the guy from Saturday Night Live.
All right.
He ain't even been on Saturday Night Live yet. Right. But something came out in his past. He had a podcast where he imitated an Asian person and he did a funny voice and said some things that people were offended by years ago.
Right. Now
he's fired before he was even shown.
Right. Yeah.
That is not right. Now he made fun of. Okay, people. He is not the first person to do an Asian voice. Asian people make fun of Asian people. Andrew Yang, the statement that Andrew Yang made about I'm Asian, so I know doctors.
But that's okay.
How is that okay?
Because that's just like I can make fun of my own, but nobody else can. I mean, come on, we say that all the time. Okay. Like I can do certain things to my race that other people can't. I take offense to that. I mean, that's across the board.
Yeah, but I think that creates this ugly gray line that gets confusing. So it gets confusing. So you have the Me Too movement, right?
Right.
You have women that do stuff.
Right.
But if a man does that same exact thing, we got a problem. We got a lawsuit. If a woman does it, people gonna shrug it off.
There are double standards in this world all over the place.
And that's not right.
We know that. But
there's no reason why in 2020, if a movie called Black Chicks comes out and it's some white guys portraying it, there's going to be all types of controversy and confusion about it.
Yes.
And White Chicks 2 is supposed to come out. Real talk.
Well, I hope not.
It's supposed to come out. They're supposed to be trying to work it out.
I'm telling you, right? It's not.
There's going to be no confusion about that, even though if the reverse happens, right? Eddie Murphy portrayed a white person before. Eddie Murphy did it in '83 on Saturday Night Live. He dressed up as a white person and walked around New York City, and they filmed him. Okay, And he showed it on Saturday Night Live, and it was hilarious.
So why is Saturday Night Live having such an issue with this man?
Because of this bullcrap PC environment that we live in that says you can't spank your kids, right?
Well, that's okay.
You should be able to spank your kids.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
And then so they turn around and say you can't spank your kids. Anytime that your kid is wrong, oh my God, this is how the kid feels. Anytime that the child has some adversity, that's bullying. Oh my God, you can't have that. You had eighth place trophies. Everybody got to be a winner. Everyone's a winner here. Mm-hmm. Everyone's a winner. And then we have the worst kids ever. As far as respect, as far as everything, manners. When you go to a fast food restaurant, the only fast food restaurant that we're going to get good service in is going to be where?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. That's it. Everybody else, customer service does not exist. When I worked at McDonald's, we had to watch customer service videos before they even let us interact with customers. We had to watch videos, and they had buzzwords and stuff you had to say, like, please, thank you, drive through. Not, is that it? Is that all? Anything else? Just, right. There was a selling technique. This stuff does not exist because of this PC environment that we are in. It used to be when you did something wrong, if your mother didn't see you, but the next door neighbor saw you, you were still in trouble.
Right.
Because she was going to tell, or he was going to tell your parents, and you was going to have some problems. Right?
Right.
Now, this stuff doesn't exist, which is why we produce kids that are no good, which goes back to, I'm coming full circle here, this PC environment that we're in has created all kind of confusion. You brought it up, and you said it, and you were absolutely right. It's at a point now where people are going to be even scared to be funny because years later, this may come back to haunt me. So I'm not going to be as funny as I possibly could be because people might get offended by what I have to say.
Well, I think that might be the plan, though. That might be the plan to censor ourselves without it coming down as law. You know what I mean? Like, we'll end up censoring ourselves without them saying it and not even realizing it.
Right.
So that might be the plan. And if we don't wake up and become aware of it and notice it, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, it's already a problem. So I just feel as though you can poke fun at everybody. The LGBT, you mention them, some of them get bent out of shape. You should be able to, if you, listen, LGBTQ plus, whatever other letters you want to adopt, people that are in that community, if you want to be treated just like everybody else, look at me, I'm talking to y'all, okay? Pay attention. If you want to be treated fairly, you want to get married, you want to be treated like everybody else, that means that it is fair game to make fun of you because heterosexual people can make fun of heterosexual people and it's all good. And if you want to be treated fairly, we should be able to laugh and joke about you and it's all good. If you want to be treated fairly. If you don't want to be treated fairly, then oh my God, you can't say nothing about it. Then that's treating you different because everybody else is fair game. That's what I'm saying. And so Asian people should understand that when people make jokes, now there are some jokes that we had back in the day, there were some derogatory names that kids used to say back in the day because we heard it. Those things are not in vogue anymore. That's not what I'm talking about.
Right.
But generally speaking, what's the Asian guy's name from the funny Asian guy that was on Hangover? You know what I'm talking about? He is hilarious. I don't know his name. But to me, he's like the equivalent of a slapstick comedy.
Right.
Like a Steve Martin, like Martin Lawrence, but an Asian version of that. Like he's over exaggerated. And he's funny though. I think he's hilarious. Mm-hmm. But some Asian people might be offended by him.
Ken Jeong.
Yes, he is hilarious. I think he's very funny. Real doctor too.
Jeong. I'm saying it wrong.
But whatever. But we know who you're talking about.
Right.
And so I understand that there are lines where something can be intentionally mean and then funny. There's a line, but I want us to not be consumed in this PC environment that we can't do anything because just creativity is crippled by these these borders and these walls. We need to be able to say stuff that is funny and it's okay. And yes, Justin Trudeau did some real fuck shit, right? Now, does that mean that he should not be able to do anything else in life? He got to just jump off a bridge because he did that? No. But there should be consequences and repercussions. I'm not saying he should lose his job over it. But there should be consequences and repercussions. There are things that everybody said that you can go back in everybody's history, including your mother's history, and she said some things that she wishes you could, maybe I might say that differently now. You know what I mean? Everybody's got that. And so this PC environment is very, very, it can hinder creativity. And we're creating babies who become adults who don't have any backbone because of the constant coddling that happens. It's ridiculous. So, of course, you are listening to Radio on Fire. If you miss any episodes, you go to radioonfire.com and catch up, and definitely check us out there. radioonfire.com. Also, become a premium subscriber, Radio on Fire Plus. You go to radioonfire.com/join to become a member. You get exclusive shows, behind-the-scenes content, a lot of stuff. As I said, radioonfire.com/join, $2.99 a month. So, the Ravens took their first loss.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad though. I think that it was a decent game. But Patrick Mahomes, he's a beast. He's a beast, and he did his thing. The Chiefs won that showdown between the NFL's top two offenses. We lost to them. I don't see nobody else beating us but them. And sooner or later, we're going to get them. But there were some mistakes. We were outplayed, and I think outcoached.
So will we play them again?
Will we play them again?
Yes. Or is it just once? You know how sometimes.
Yeah, them it's just gonna be that one time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But we'll see them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see them again. Speaking of see again, Antonio Brown. We've talked about him. Did you know who Antonio Brown was before 2 weeks ago?
No, I didn't. I'm quite sure a lot of people did.
I didn't think you did. I didn't think you did. So he's had a crazy last 2 weeks. So he was from the Pittsburgh Steelers and got sent to Oakland Raiders. He didn't want to be at the Oakland Raiders. Okay. And he tried to do everything he could to get off the Oakland Raiders. I want my other helmet. Got frostbite. Just everything. Anything he can come up with. It reminded me of when the Locks were trying to get off Bad Boy. And they were trying to do everything. They threatened Diddy. They said that they were going to throw a refrigerator or some craziness out the window on Diddy. So I just finally had a whole Free the Locks campaign. They had T-shirts. They did the whole thing. And everybody just like, okay, enough. Okay.
Like they were in jail, Free the Locks?
Yes. Free us from our contract, right?
That's extra.
And they were extra. And so he, talking about Antonio Brown, was able to get free. And he really wanted to go to the Patriots, who is a Super Bowl champion team. And Oakland, he wasn't going to have that kind of visibility in Oakland because it's not that great of a team. So he gets to go to the Patriots. And ironic, a big rival of the Steelers too. But so he goes there, right? And I think, okay, everything's fine. He's going to do great. These allegations that came up about him allegedly raping somebody, sexually assaulting this woman, civil matter. He could have paid it off. He chose not to. She wanted $2 million to make it all go away. He chose not to. I think he should have paid it personally, but
if he paid it, isn't that an admission of guilt? If you're saying that you didn't do it and then you pay somebody off,
once again,
doesn't that mean you did it?
If you have $2 million and if you're as reckless as him, maybe you didn't rape her, but you bare minimum exhibited bad behavior because he's hella rude. Okay, he's hella rude, and in some instances, it just makes more sense. You can put it in the paperwork. This is not an admission of guilt. I just don't want to discuss this matter any further. You know, slap a NDA on her. She can't talk about it. You can't talk about it. And this would have never even have come to light. A lot of people do this.
That's true.
Now, that doesn't mean that you did it. That just means I don't want to go through this in a public forum. You can't speak about it. You've been paid an amount. No, I didn't rape you, but, it just didn't work out. Fine. You feel that I've wronged you in some kind of way. Let's just, that's what I would have done. But for whatever reason, he did not do that. And I guess he thought, like you think, that's an admission of guilt. So he didn't do that. She came out. She said some things. He said some things. She showed her text messages. He showed some text messages. Some photos of them in bed, different places, out on the town, one of those kind of trampoline places, like all different type of things, right? Mm-hmm. They had, he said, a consensual relationship, which I believe. However, this thing had gotten very personal, had gotten very ugly. And through the course of time, Antonio Brown, I say, has no real friends around him. He has a bunch of yes men around him. Why do I say that? Because Antonio Brown was fired from the New England Patriots because of his inability to shut the fuck up.
Okay.
While this is going on, there's a civil case going on. He, on text message, threatened the woman, the accuser's children.
Oh, God.
On text message. And she had a meeting with the NFL. The rest is history. Right. The Patriots had to let him go. Right. Now, had he shut the fuck up, let the civil case go its course, it would have gone away. It would have faded in the background. We wouldn't even been paying attention to it. It would have been going on. Football season rolling on. Right. Nobody thinking about it except for her. But he chose to threaten her children. No, America's team can't keep you want to be threatening her children. Children? You're going to threaten some children? Really? Mm-hmm. So that's why I said that he has no friends around him that will tell him the truth. He had a very turbulent last few weeks. And I know he's not happy. He has a home in Miami, and he went back to Miami yesterday. And so it's photos shown of him, and a lot of the photos, he doesn't look like he's in the best mood. And I understand.
Yeah, because she's going to get made way more than $2 million now.
I understand. So he said this morning that he's done with football. He's done with football, and he's a great athlete. He's a great athlete, great wide receiver. But I'm saying he's his own worst enemy. Right. And he's had these ups and downs, but he's in full crybaby mode right now. Full crybaby mode. Should have kept his mouth shut. As I said, threatening children is inexcusable.
Yeah.
Now, it's inexcusable.
That's a bit much.
So he said this earlier this morning, will not be playing in the NFL anymore. These owners can cancel deals, do whatever they want at any time. We'll see if the NFLPA will hold them accountable. Sad they can just void guarantees anytime, going on 40 minutes, 2 months. We'll see if they pay up. He said this. And he also started to take some shots at some other people. So, of course, there have been people that have had allegations against them in the past that are still around and beloved. And so he felt like he's being picked on. Okay. Yesterday, he posted a picture of Nipsey Hussle and tried to liken himself to Nipsey Hussle. And some people really took issue with that.
Absolutely.
He's no Nipsey Hussle. And so he posted some headlines of, if people remember, the rape allegations against Big Ben Roethlisberger from Pittsburgh Steelers. He got 4-game suspension for that. And 4 games for Big Ben. Crazy world. I'm done with it. He said that. And Shannon Sharp, he's the funny guy on TV. He had sexual assault allegations against him. Kraft got caught in a parlor, and so of course they got him on video but he's still there. But here's the thing. All of these guys shut up.
Right.
Did not threaten the accuser's children. Or the accusers, for that matter, and just shut up and let it run its course. These things settled out of court, and it would have faded in the background the same way. But he was unable to do that, and that's why he's in the situation that he's in. So, what do you think? Is he the victim of? But see, once again, this is the result of somebody who thinks they can do whatever they want, and he was probably, I would say, I'm going to look this up and find out. But tell me your thoughts about him, and then I'm going to find out whether he was raised by his mother and did not have his father around. Tell me your thoughts.
No, I think he's getting exactly what he deserves. He doesn't deserve to play on any team. You can't control yourself, and why would you do something like that? Innocent children? No, he's getting everything he deserves. I feel no empathy for him at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And
I don't
you say
think
he doesn't have any friends. His friends probably weren't even aware that he texted that nonsense to anyone.
I don't think he raped her though.
No, I mean I agree with that. So like you said, he should have just paid the $2 million, and this would be fading in the background. He did too much. He did this to himself. He has no one to blame but himself.
Yeah,
he really doesn't.
Yeah, I mean he's had a lot of off-field controversies.
Didn't he used to play for the Ravens?
No. Last year he was with the Steelers. Okay. He tossed some furniture out the window of his apartment, nearly hitting a 22-month-old child on the patio below him. Driving for speeds excess over 100 miles an hour on a suburban highway. Wow. Sued in that incident.
Sounds and like it's he's just on a path to destruction. Isn't that what they say? Path to destruction.
He was. Did you watch Dancing with the Stars? He was on Dancing with the Stars back in 2016.
Well, I catch it every now and then. I
made it to the semifinals. But you watch that show.
They usually do Dancing with the Stars when your career is kind of like over. That's the comeback. That's the comeback show.
Like, he was also in that show that you watch, The Masked Singer. He was wearing a hippo costume, and he sang "My Prerogative" by Bobby Brown.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think that he raped a girl. I just think that he is just ratchet and classless.
So why do you think she lied? What do you think her motive was?
Money.
Money.
Her motive was money, and she was going to lose. When the facts were out there, it looked like she was a scorned person,
right?
And that he was still messing around with his baby mother, and she tried to blow his spot up and tell the baby mother, and then he wanted money, and she wanted him to invest in some business, and he didn't want to. And then he was on some "fuck you, bitch" type shit, because that's how he was talking to her on the text messages that they showed, but. Wow. He should have he needed a crisis manager.
Yeah.
If he had a crisis manager, he would have skated through this. But it's
unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, he was a 6th-round pick by the Steelers back in 2010. And he had amassed more receptions and receiving yards than any other player since he entered the league. Very talented. Very, very, very talented. And with that comes a lot of cockiness. And like I say, he was raised in Liberty City, Miami. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times Florida guys have a chip on their shoulder, and so I incorrectly talked about him not having a father in his life, so he doesn't even have an excuse. I completely forgot that he is the son of retired Arena Football League star Eddie Brown, who was named the best player in the league's history back in 2006. It's he comes from a family that's why he could play football good. Right. But I don't understand his off-field antics. A lot of times that can do you in worse than anything.
That's true.
He's going to look back on this time and regret it. And all that he lost in all that. So do you think we'll see him in the NFL again? I don't.
No, I agree. I don't either. He needs to do something else.
Yeah, I agree. And last thing, sad story. coming out of Pittsburgh. 3 people dead, 4 sick after a mystery at the luxury Pittsburgh apartments. It's called South Side Works City Apartments. 3 men died and 4 other men hospitalized after what they're calling a medical incident near this luxurious apartment. Doesn't look that luxurious to me. But one of the victims, but it's in Pittsburgh, so what can you say? But one of the victims was a 33-year-old man. And they say all the victims were around the same age, and they all were wearing orange wristbands. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, which is who reported this first, they said that one of the deceased men was found inside of the Southside City Works Club apartment complex in the elevator at 4 a.m. Sunday morning. And after that, the police found a survivor in critical condition on a nearby street at 3:20 a.m. 2 separate emergency calls alerted authorities to the men about an hour apart. And have you ever heard of anything like this?
No.
What's the orange wristband thing? I don't. That's usually, those are the wristbands like, you can drink, or if you want to go outside the club, they let you back in. It's like those are the type of things, right? There are
a couple things. I mean, if they're coming from somewhere or going to somewhere where they're okay, sometimes you get wristbands for VIP.
Right.
Sometimes you get wristbands if you have different privileges. Maybe you have paid for an all you can drink and other people, haven't, to differentiate between those. Or you could go to a place where they're trying to identify whether you're 21 or over. It's different reasons why you can have wristbands.
Yeah.
According to wherever they were.
Right.
So.
2 additional men were found dead, and 3 found in serious condition inside an apartment just after 5:30 a.m. on Sunday. And so they said that there were no initial signs of any drug paraphernalia or needles found when they investigated the apartment. Police say that they have identified 2 venues that were handing out orange wristbands Saturday night and have pleaded that anyone who might have been in either venue contact them. So this story is developing. What could this be? I don't know. That's very odd. I don't know. Yeah.
I hope they figure it out though.
Yeah. I definitely hope that.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Yes, it's crazy. Of course, Diamond K Show. I'll be back here tomorrow. Thank you, Nikki, as always.
You're welcome.
Of course, at the Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can check us out there. Join us, conversation, 404-436-1277. Send emails, yourradioonfire@gmail.com. Of course, you're listening to Radio on Fire, the voice of urban America. Your man Diamond K. I will see you guys tomorrow.